So let me add my congratulations to the incredible class of 2015. And I must say I'm particularly proud to be a member of it. Admittedly, your oldest member, but I'm really happy to be here with you and to share this honor with you today. I'm also proud that I have my Chief Financial Officer here, Joanne Muniz, she may not want me to tell you this, but she's celebrating her 25th, perhaps I should whisper that, 25th reunion this year, and I'm delighted to have her. I'm also particularly honored to have our inaugural class of Stamp Scholars. These are amazing kids. It's David Beretti, Tamara Eichelberger, and Amy Wagner. And I've gotten to know them well, and I can tell you that if these kids are in any way indicative of what this class of 2015 is all about, we're really in for a treat. We're going to watch some amazing accomplishments from all of you, so I congratulate all of you. Now, I know it's hot out there, and so I was trying to figure out the way to spend a few minutes together, and Dr. Strickwer to emphasize the term few. And so he suggested that I tell you a few of the things that I've learned. And what I was very conscious of when I thought about that sage advice was that as a member of the college president's organization and knowing the secret handshake, he might be able to access my transcript from when I was an undergrad and conclude that I didn't learn a lot when I was an undergrad. Perhaps he was referring to some of the things that I've learned along the way. I also consulted a friend of mine, Donna Shalala. Some of you know her as the president of the University of Miami. She told me that these addresses are really easy. You just got to be funny and you got to be short. And for those of you who know her, that's really easy for her because she is indeed funny and she's short. But I was still challenged with what we might do with our few minutes together, so I boiled everything I've learned down to 4 basic points that I would like to request that each of you consider doing. The first of those, I want you to be prepared to work really, really hard. I know that a lot of you worked hard to get here, and some of you worked really hard to get here. My guess is before you accomplish your objectives, let alone the objectives of someone so talented, society's objectives for someone so talented, you're going to have to learn how to work really, really hard. And why not? You're young. You've got energy. You've got enthusiasm. What I would recommend that you do if you're entering the workforce is go directly to your boss after a short period of indoctrination and tell him or her, you know, I'm incredibly pleased to be here. I'm really honored that you would entrust me with these responsibilities. But I want you to know that I'm committed to the success of this organization. And I'll do anything that you think I can handle to help it succeed better. And that'll help set the stage for a successful business career. If you're going to a graduate school, I'd recommend you do the same thing. Go to your favorite professor, give basically the same message. Say, I would like to learn more. I'm really here to spend the best use of my time. I'd like to learn as much as humanly possible, so I'd love to hear anything you think I should learn or do or think about. I try to make this point to young audiences, and I hopefully get across because building the foundation for the rest of your lives really involves a lot of hard work. I was once interviewing a young lady for a stamp scholarship, and she told me something that was truly amazing. She said that she was a track athlete, track star, and she was running wind sprints, was totally exhausted. She looked up at her coach and she was all sweating and ready to give up. And she asked the coach, how many more, coach? And he looked back at her and he said, how many would you like? And it was the simplicity of that message, I think, that really connotes what we're talking about when we talk about working hard, because that young lady learned at that instant, and for the rest of her life, she would certainly understand that everything she gets out of this life is directly proportional to what she puts into it. My second point is I think you should be prepared to make good decisions and avoid bad decisions. On the bad decision side, I can tell you that that the era where we could make the mistakes of youth and have people forget about them is behind us. I know I'm a veteran of that era, and I know I did a lot of things that I would not want to discuss with you today. I assume some of you have made some of those mistakes and gotten away with them so far, but I'd recommend you stop making them. Stop doing the dumb things that we can do when we're young, and make sure that you continue to build the foundation for the rest of your life based on good decisions and avoiding bad decisions. On the good decision side, I can tell you that I recently went to my Harvard Business School 40th reunion, and I was intrigued by a question that I tried to ask at that time that I've asked before at other reunions. What is it that distinguished the success or the accomplishments of this incredibly talented young man or woman from that one? What is it that enabled him or her to accomplish more than he or she would have ever dreamed, where this one didn't? And I'm convinced that a contributing factor was the care with which they approached the major decisions they had to face. That those who really thought through those decisions and said, this is a good one, this will help what I'm trying to do, certainly it won't risk what I'm trying to do. I think those people who thought it through in that light tended to do a lot better and tended to be on the one side of that divide rather than on the other. My third point is that I want you to be prepared to invest in yourself. There are at least two ways to do that. One, you can invest in yourself educationally, as you've done here at this wonderful school. And some of you will go to graduate school and you'll be able to do just that. But I think whoever you are and wherever you go, you should be prepared to continue your trajectory of learning, because you would like to be 4 years from now as changed, as educated, as trained as you have been over these last 4 years. And I think you have the opportunity to do that. But there's another way to invest in yourself, and that's financially. And to me, it's a relatively simple solution. That every paycheck you get, you should take a piece of it, no matter how small, but take a piece of it and invest it in your future. If you do, one of the things I can guarantee you will happen is you'll develop a net worth. And a lot of you over the years will learn there's a huge difference between having a high net worth and having a high net income. And those of you who have a high net worth understand what that's all about. But there's another often overlooked reason for investing in yourself financially. And that's that I'm convinced that opportunity will knock on your door, or you will encounter opportunity at some time. You're just too talented, too driven not to do that. So when opportunity knocks on your door, if you're so wrapped up in car payments and boat payments, house payments, and living a standard of living that you really can't afford to live, my fear is that one of these days you'll wake up and ask where all that opportunity went. So invest in yourself educationally, invest in yourself financially. My fourth point, and my last one, that always gets a huge round of applause. I know it's hot out there. My fourth point is you must be willing to protect your most valuable asset. Let me tell you about a picture that we have in our living room. It's a picture of my wife and me on graduation day 41 years ago, turns out. And we were dressed up and we were grinning like crazy. I'm not sure why I was grinning, because I was scared to death. My wife was grinning because she said, I can finally get this guy to go to work, see if he's any good, so I'm sure she was really happy. But the beauty of that picture, that simple picture of that beautiful day, was that it showed so clearly everything that we had and that we didn't have at that time of our lives. First, what didn't we have? We didn't have any money. I assume that's like some of you. In fact, we had debt. I assume that is like some of you. But take heart. Some of these things can be overcome. So we didn't have any money. We didn't have much of a past. Surely we'd been to some good schools. We'd had some good jobs. I'd been in the Navy. But we really hadn't proven as much as we would be called upon to prove in the lives that we plan to lead. So we didn't have any money, we didn't have a past. What did we have that's so clear in that picture? One thing is we had each other. And I can't underemphasize the importance of good partners in life. All of you will find that you can't accomplish much without good partners, whether they're personal partners or business partners. Some of you will learn the easy way what a wonderful thing a great partner is. Some of you will learn a hard way what a bad partner can be all about. Lastly, the other thing that was so clear in that picture involves one more story. I took my daughter off to school not too far away from here a number of years ago, and I told her that I would be happy to trade places with her, as I would be willing to trade places with all of you. She looked at me quizzically and asked, why? Why would you consider doing that? You've come so far. You've accomplished so much. You have so much. And the answer to that question, the reason that I'd be willing to trade places with any of you, is the clearest definition I can summon for your most valuable asset, because that asset is your future. The good thing about assets like that is that you have a lot of them. Your future is endless. It's boundless. You're young and you're looking up at it. The bad thing about those assets is that they're perishable. You have to nurture them. You have to protect them. You have to work really, really hard. You have to make good decisions and avoid bad decisions. You have to invest in yourself. Most importantly, you have to protect that valuable asset as if it is your most valuable asset, because I believe it is. So with that, let me congratulate you on all the hard work you've done to get here, but let me congratulate you most importantly on your most valuable asset, your wonderful, your boundless, your endless future. Thank you very much.